Pride cometh before destruction. Always good to remind yourself of that. And this story is one of my favorite reminders that it is very, very true. As soon as you begin to aggrandize yourself above others, as soon as you begin to take your team sport and tell the entire world that, in fact, it's you who won your little golden trophy and statue, as Megan Rapinoe did right here.
What do you have to say?
I deserve it.
What do you deserve? You deserve all of it. Everything. You deserve this.
She says. What a message to send to young girls. What a message to send to anyone playing a team sport, that you sitting there with your bottle of expensive champagne and your designer sunglasses holding your team sport trophy, you deserve this. You know, maybe Megan Rapinoe will have the same
devastating for her.
The same commentary when she breaks her leg standing in the middle of a field in her last play in professional soccer. Megan Rapinoe just collapses. I think she blew out her ACL, couldn't walk anymore, started sobbing into her shirt. Do you deserve this now, Megan? Do you deserve this? No, in fact. It turns out that she didn't deserve this one. It's God who hates her. Or at the very least, this proves there is no God. Like, I can't believe that we made heroes out of these people.
I thought about it a little bit. I mean, you know, I'm not a religious person or anything. And if there was a God, like, this is proof that there isn't.
If there was a God, something bad happening to me is proof that there isn't. You know, it's funny, the countervailing could be true, that somebody as entitled and narcissistic and repulsive and self-obsessed, that maybe you've gotten punished for this behavior. Perhaps a righteous God doesn't like this kind of behavior in people who have made millions, having like very little talent or skill. She was never that good of an actual soccer player. Chugging your Bud Light, perfectly on brand. You know, you can see these kind of things when the cameras are off, like how people behave. Look at Megan Rapinoe here. Cameras are off. A young fan, I'm not sure she really has any fans, certainly not anymore, hands her a soccer ball. She doesn't even make eye contact with him, doesn't even acknowledge that he exists, and now has become like a bit of a joke, quite frankly, in the sports world. Listen to this.
Megan Rapinoe could not make it tonight. Nice. No, we're going to pretend she's a good time. All right.
Good. Shake us. Saying what we all know to be true. Okay. An important reminder that the Dallas 15 and under boys squad beat Megan Rapinoe badly, 5-2 actually, beat the American Olympic team. So this young squad, so here's Megan Rapinoe right here. This young squad of boy soccer players beat the professional Olympic girls soccer players 5-2. Okay. Really, you're so impressive. You deserve this, Megan Rapinoe. You totally deserve it. Anyway, why are we even talking about this wench again? Hasn't she been banished to obscurity? Yes. In fact, she just does really poorly lit, dingy, depressing looking podcasts from a closet somewhere. Thought you'd be against that, Megan. Megan Rapinoe takes aim at Donald Trump's furious attack on hateful, horrible Olympic ban on trans athletes. Look at this, Megan Rapinoe. Wow, wait a second. Where's the designer outfits? Where's the pink hair? Where's that Megan Rapinoe that we all grew so fond of? Been replaced now by like Eminem in rehab, I guess. I don't really know. Look at this. Depressing. Yikes. Amazing what happens when you fall out of grace with Hollywood and all of the designers and people who come in to help your image, you resort to your lowest common denominator. Ladies and gentlemen, well, right here. Lowest common denominator is Megan Rapinoe sitting here mewling and bitching and complaining on a podcast that men can no longer beat the hell out of women in the Olympics. Rapinoe has accused the international Olympic community of bowing to the wishes of the Trump administration, a hateful, horrible ban on transgenders. In a landmark decision earlier this year, the Olympics blocked transgender athletes from all women's sports. Funny how it never goes both ways. It's never a woman trying to play a man's sport. You want to know why? Because men are stronger and better at sports than women. Yes, on average, the elite level, men are stronger and outperform women in a vast majority of sports that involve strength, speed, power, and a combination of those with endurance. This is driven by well-documented biological differences that emerge primarily at puberty and persist through adulthood and equivalent training. Muscle mass and strength, power and speed, aerobic activity, and body composition. Performance gaps are massive between men and women in competitions like running, sprinting, jumping, throwing, swimming, weightlifting, cycling, and rowing. This is why no women ever no trans men try and compete in the men's sports. Whatever the hell. I get confused. Anyway, here's Megan Rapinoe complaining,
we see you.
Which is
we know how
her professional job.
Trying these times are for you right now, and just wanted to take a moment to say that. And unfortunately, we have to say that all in the same breath as a really
so compelling,
horrible rule that came out from the International Olympic Committee. They've announced a new policy that they're calling, I can't even believe they're calling it this, because it has nothing to do with protecting women. I feel like two people who played at the very highest level.
Really? Did you?
For every competition that you possibly could, don't agree with this and never felt like this was an issue at all. The protection of the female bracketed women's category. They're limiting people eligible to compete in the women's category to those who qualify as what they're calling, quote unquote, biological females. This will require a once in a lifetime screening of all women's athletes for the SRY gene. And if an athlete tests positive for this gene, they will have to compete in the male category. We already know that biology, as much as we want it to be just nice and clean and tight and perfectly in one category or another, it's not. We know that. So now what we're doing is subjecting everybody, all women and all people who are identifying as women, to this really invasive testing.
There's so many places to go with this. Okay, again, she says that she played at the highest elite levels of women's sports. No, you didn't. You got beat by 15-year-old men. No, you didn't. My favorite part about this video is when Megan Rapinoe put quotes around biological female as if it's something new and completely made up. She claims it's not scientific that males have advantages over females when it's been documented in thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of studies. Try not to question people's intelligence, but Megan Rapinoe is making it harder and harder for me to continue to double and triple down on this stupidity. U.S. women's soccer star Megan Rapinoe calls Olympics banning competition in women's really hateful. Delusional. Don't forget, her team was destroyed by a 15 and under boys team. This is a mental illness. Megan Rapinoe, who took weeks to say a word about the Iranian women's soccer team facing death, is angry that the Olympics banned women. You know, it's amazing. She's made her millions. She never had to compete against men except for when she competed against young boys and got destroyed. So now she wants to subject, she doesn't have kids, of course, because she lives this lifestyle, right? I deserve this. She lives this inherently selfish, vacuous lifestyle where this is just the epitome. I mean, it sure seems to have brought her tons of happiness, right? Isn't it amazing? Like these people, they get everything that they want and they're destroyed by it. They're not happy at all. They abandon every chance of having family, having children, having the things that actually make life worth living. Anyway, she got it all, and she didn't have to compete against men. She didn't have children. She doesn't have daughters or sons of her own. So she'll never have to actually face this choice. She'll never have to have her daughter get beat up by a man, right? She wants your daughters to get beat up by a man. It's a vicious, evil witch. Like, should have never made you famous, right? Should have never given you money, says Rick James. Yeah. This is like, careful, right? Careful who your heroes are. Luckily, our hero was never Megan Rapinoe, and on this channel, you know that we disliked her for a very, very long time. So, proven right yet again. Megan Rapinoe. Total fraud. And fun to watch her career spiral. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.